This is the Ohio AgNet from the Voice You Know at the News You Trust studio, sponsored by BASF and Veltima Fungicide, the proven #1 for the toughest corn diseases with long-lasting residual. When you need to be confident your fungicide will perform. I'm Ty Higgins. Don't miss Dye Real Estate and Land Company's July consignment auction on July 14th at the Putnam County Fairgrounds. To find out more, go to dyerealestate.com or call 419-721-3497. The U.S.-Mexico-Canada agreement, negotiated during the first Trump administration, has officially entered its 6-year renewal period. Virginia Houston, the Senior Director of Government Affairs for the American Farm Bureau Federation, said the trade agreement is incredibly important for North American agriculture and industry.
So July 1st is the official date by which all three parties had to agree to renew the U.S.-Mexico-Canada agreement. USTR announced that they have not agreed to renew it, so we have entered into an annual review process with Canada and Mexico for up to the next 10 years.
The review process was outlined when the USMCA agreement was initially signed.
When NAFTA, which is the predecessor to USMCA, was renegotiated, it included a novel review clause that said that after 6 years after entry into force, all three countries had to come together to agree if they wanted the agreement to renew. If they did not come to agreement, it would kick off the annual review process, which is what we're in right now.
Houston said there's still plenty of work to do, but progress is being made.
Currently, the U.S. and Mexico are in bilateral negotiations on trade irritants around USMCA. Canada is being slower to join the party, but we do know that their government wants to be engaged and is also committed to keeping USMCA in place, as is Mexico, which is so important for U.S. agriculture.
The National Pork Producers Council, which represents the interest of America's 60,000-plus pork producers, released a statement in response to the decision not to renew USMCA. They say ensuring the agreement remains intact is vital to continuing the mutually beneficial trading relationships U.S. pork enjoys with both Canada and Mexico. They go on to say that while they would like to have seen immediate renewal of USMCA, U.S. pork producers appreciate the Trump administration's commitment to staying at the negotiating table with Mexico and Canada to make sure U.S. pork's market access is preserved. Let's get a check of the forecast now, brought to you by Seed Genetics Direct, the #1 fastest growing and largest Ohio-based independent seed company. Here's Ryan Martin.
On track to see the heat come to an end tomorrow. It's very warm, very humid today. Moisture coming out of the Great Lakes region tomorrow will cap temperatures just a little bit. It may not happen right away. I think mid to late afternoon is when we see scattered showers start, and then we see on again, off again moisture through the entire weekend. I'm Ryan Martin.
Ryan, thank you. Are there any concerns about spraying soybeans during this hot weather? Troy Grimm is lead agronomy advisor with Mercer Landmark.
When it comes to spraying in these these are out of the ordinary high temperatures, right? So the first thing I would say is the temperature is expected to stay in the 90s. It may be worth waiting for a cooler window, but not always, able to do that. So if you can't, or, thinking about it, maybe look at spraying in cooler parts of the day, early morning, later in the night, when the crop isn't under peak stress time. We don't want to stress the plant out any more than it already is by the natural the heat out there. And then just know your product, right? Know what you're using. Some herbicides have a greater chance of causing crop response under stressful conditions. As always, follow the label. Talk to your agronomist. Maybe revisit some of those mixes that we have, and just be conscious of that.
That's Troy Grimm with Mercer Landmark, their lead agronomy advisor. Couple of congratulations to leaders of the Ohio soybean industry. The Soybean Council and Soybean Association pleased to announce that Brandon Kern will lead the two organizations as its new executive director beginning January 1st. Kern will take over the role from Kirk Merritt, who earlier this year announced his plans to retire at the end of 2026. Congratulations to both Brandon and Kirk. We'll get a check of the markets and analysis coming up next here on the Ohio AgNet.
Be aware, ticks are there. As you head outdoors, remember to avoid tall grass, wear light-colored full-coverage clothing, and use EPA-registered repellent. Be sure to thoroughly check for ticks after you head in for the day. If you find any ticks, remove them carefully with tweezers and watch for symptoms such as fever, headache, or rash. For more information on ticks and tick bite prevention, head over to ohio.gov/ticks.
Looking for heavy equipment but don't know where to buy? Purple Wave Auction has you covered. Always online, and always no reserve. It's your destination for construction or ag equipment ready to work. We even sell semis, trailers, and fleet equipment for your operation. Best part? It's free to join. Head to purplewave.com. That's purplewave.com. Sign up for a free account and start bidding today. Purple Wave Auction, the easiest and most straightforward way to buy and sell equipment.
Welcome back to the Ohio AgNet. I'm Ty Higgins, and today's market analysis is brought to you by Louis Dreyfus Company. Excited to bring a brand new soybean crush facility to Upper Sandusky. Learn more about marketing your soybeans with LDC at 574-566-2113. New numbers report that corn used to produce ethanol totaled 472 million bushels in May. That's up 10% from April and 6% from May of last year. The number of soybeans crushed for crude oil in May of 2026 was 213 million bushels. That's down from 218 in April. Things looking up at midday with corn higher by 3 to 7, the beans picking up 4.5 to 7 3/4, wheat up 4 3/4 to 6 3/4, live cattle lower, lean hogs mixed, feeder cattle trading to the downside. For the Ohio AgNet, I'm Ty Higgins reporting. We'll see you down the road.